starting this fly with purple 6/0 unithread. The only reason I use purple, you'll see in a minute, to start, doesn't really matter except for back here. You see there's a bump for kind of the hot spot on the ass end of the fly, and so that's really the first step, just getting that thread base and that butt. So I'll come down kind of to the edge here, that come off. This kind of is the back end being combined with the hippie stomper and the deer hair ant. That thread being the deer hair ant, and that deer hair going off the back, a lot like the hippie stomper. This is really the combination of 3 flies, 3 of my favorite flies that I use a lot on Boulder Creek with clients, and I just put them together. Pretty much what fly tying is right now. Your next clump of deer hair does not need to be stacked. I'll show you why, how you tie it in. You do want to just get all the nastiness out of there like usual. And then you're going to kind of tie it in middle of the shank. I go with the tips forward, a little bit thinner, and I come back to about right there, go forward, and I can clip some of that off just like that, and then just come forward on the body and then retrieve all the way back to the tail. Black superfine dubbing, and this is where that aspect of the deer hair ant comes into play. So get it nice and tightly dubbed up like so, and just going to make a mound in the rear, look like this. I'm going to need a little bit more dubbing, so I'm going to throw a little bit more on. So if you've ever fished the deer hair ant on small creeks, it's starting to kind of look like that body right there. Then I'm going to flip this section in the back over for the body. There's one little hair we'll get later. And just bring it down maybe 2 or 3 wraps, and then just get in front of it again and back to that superfine dubbing. And I'm just going to throw another mound, make that antish looking body. I'm going to need a touch more. Usually need a little bit more each time. Never really get the first one done. Just get that second nice hump, and then same deal. I'm just going to pop it over. Now this is one of those sections where you want to be careful. 1, 2, that's 3, and then maybe 1 or 2 in front, and then clip that back nice and tight there to that body, and come forward, and we're just going to do a 1, 2, 3 whip because we'll be back on. Just come back, and this is almost like a royal wolfish body added to the deer hair ant. I don't think this is on the one that you buy, but that fly is deadly as well. And then just whip it off. So you have that, like I say, you can almost use peacock in there to make it like a royal wolf, and so you've got that section in between there, and looks good. After that, we are going to switch to a black 70 denier. This next small deer hair is also from the stacker, so those tips are coming out, and I just grab a little bit. And this is again kind of a black 409 looking piece right here. There's one loose one, so I'm going to grab all of that flash. I'm just going to make it come up over the body. And again, I want to be real tight right there with 3 wraps, and then I'm going to come in front here, clip this front part off real tight. And the reason I want to make sure I have as few as wraps as I can in this section is it does tend to bulk up just a tiny bit, so I'll kind of like fill that in a little bit, but I want to keep that fairly slim for this next part here without pushing it down too much. Give it another 3 wraps, and then in front. Next, I'm going to take about 1.5 millimeters black foam, wide that is. I'm going to pop this in. This is where I kind of come back to the hippie stomper a bit and get that in there. I'm going to tie that all the way forward so that will kind of come off the front, just like that hippie stomper. Put a purple, black Hackle. Again, you know, color could be different here, but you see how much is getting tied in here. So you just, that's another reason why you really want to not get this too bulked up in here, because we've got that. And then we're going to take legs, I'm going to tie it in on the camera side here. I'll bring that back like this, and then I'm going to put one on my front side, so I'll have legs coming off like that. I'm going to come forward like this, all the way to the front, and I might even go up to the eye like that. So you see we've got this foam, legs and legs, and then final step, I'm going to bring that Hackle, that leg's going to be funny with it, around, I'll come up and catch it once, twice, maybe on the inside there again, then I'll pull everything back and get up to the nose. Alright, your last step is just come through and do all the trimming. You've got the post here, bring that down quite a bit, maybe fluff that out, I'll do that a little bit later. You have your flash, I want to get that just over the butt, leg lengths, a little longer in the back, and then on the bottom, I like to cut off like you're tying a thorax done or something like that. It sits real flat on the water. And then finally a couple of hairs up around the eye, and your foam right like that.